In 2002, one of the deadliest train disasters in history unfolded near Ayyat, a small town south of Cairo, Egypt. The Ayyat train disaster became an emblem of catastrophic failure within a transportation system, leaving a scar on the nation's collective memory. On a fateful night, a passenger train en route to southern Egypt caught fire, resulting in a horrendous inferno that claimed over 300 lives and injured many others. This story delves into the harrowing sequence of events, the subsequent investigations, and the urgent calls for safety reforms in the wake of a tragedy that not only shook Egypt but also echoed around the world as a somber reminder of the crucial importance of transportation safety.
In the stillness of the Egyptian night, a tragedy unfolded that would etch itself into the annals of history as one of the most devastating rail disasters the world had ever seen. This is the story of the Ayyat train disaster of 2002, a narrative woven with threads of sorrow, urgency, and a stark reminder of the value of human life amidst the machinery of progress. On the night of February 20, 2002, train number 832 embarked on its routine journey from Cairo, Egypt's bustling capital, to Luxor, a city renowned for its ancient pharaonic treasures. The train, packed with over 1,000 passengers, many of whom were poor Egyptians traveling to their southern homes, was a microcosm of Egypt's vibrant but starkly stratified society. As the train sliced through the dark, peaceful countryside, a small fire sparked in one of the train's 11 wooden-bodied carriages. The exact cause remains a subject of debate, with speculations ranging from a malfunctioning stove to a discarded cigarette. However, the spark quickly kindled into an inferno, fueled by the highly flammable materials of the carriage interiors. The fire spread with terrifying speed, consuming one carriage after another. The train, now a moving pyre, continued its deadly journey for nearly 5 kilometers before coming to a halt. The passengers, trapped in a blazing prison, faced a horrifying ordeal. In the chaos, many were forced to choose between the raging flames within and the perilous leap into the dark unknown outside. By dawn, the scale of the disaster was heartbreakingly clear. More than 300 lives were lost, and hundreds more were scarred by injuries and the trauma of that night. The charred remains of the train stood as a grim testament to the tragedy. In the aftermath, the disaster sparked a nationwide outcry over the state of Egypt's railway system, known for its outdated infrastructure and poor safety record. Investigations pointed to negligence and a lack of adequate safety measures, prompting public demands for accountability and reform. The Ayyat train disaster became a catalyst for change, leading to increased scrutiny of rail safety standards and the implementation of new safety protocols. Yet, for the families of the victims, the tragedy remained a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the imperative of vigilance in safeguarding it against the machinations of neglect and the march of progress. Through the sorrow and the ashes, the story of the Ayyat train disaster endures as a somber narrative, urging us to remember the lives lost and the lessons learned in the hope that such a catastrophe is never repeated.
Scale of the tragedy. The sheer number of casualties makes it one of the deadliest train disasters in history. The high death toll was shocking and highlighted significant issues within the railway system's safety protocols. Nature of the incident. The disaster was not a collision or a derailment but a fire that rapidly engulfed several train carriages. The fire's intensity and speed, consuming the train while it was in motion, added a horrifying dimension to the tragedy. Overcrowding. Reports indicated that the train was severely overcrowded, with passengers even riding on the roof, a factor that likely exacerbated the number of casualties and hindered escape and rescue efforts. Delayed response. the response to the emergency was criticized for being slow and inadequate. The delay in emergency services reaching the site and initiating rescue operations was a critical factor in the disaster's outcome. Cause of the fire reportedly started when an unattended stove exploded. The use of such a device on a crowded train points to lapses in safety regulations and enforcement, highlighting the informal and risky practices that passengers resorted to amid inadequate facilities. Impact on public trust. The disaster had a lasting effect on public confidence in Egypt's railway system, prompting widespread outrage and leading to calls for significant reforms and improvements in rail safety infrastructure.